Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, the U.S. House passes bill allowing WASP internments at Arlington. The Hawker Hunter Foundation cancels airshows in Europe. A Chicago suburb files a lawsuit against aircraft noise. I'm Bree Cross. It's March 25th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. Here's a good news story that leads to a perplexing question. The good news is that the U.S. House of Representatives has unanimously passed a bill that would allow World War II women Air Force service pilots, known to all of us as the WASPs, to be interned in Arlington National Cemetery. The perplexing part of this story is that the Pentagon could have allowed this to occur through an administrative action. Instead, it's taking bipartisan legislation from the Congress to get the Pentagon to do the right thing. The unanimous vote came less than a week after military officials faced tough questions from members of Congress about the issue. The bill was sponsored by Representative Martha McSally. Companion legislation has been introduced in the Senate. In 1977, Congress passed legislation retroactively granting active duty status to WASPs for the purpose of all laws administered by the Veterans Administration. In 2002, Arlington National Cemetery approved WASPs for military honors and internments. However, in March 2015, then Secretary of the Army John McHugh reversed this decision. The bill must still be passed by the U.S. Senate and be signed by President Obama before it would become law. From Holland, we learned that the Dutch Hawker Hunter Foundation will not be flying its aircraft in airshows for the 2016 airshow season. The foundation said the move is a direct result of the decision by the UK Civil Aviation Authority to ground all Hawker Hunters under its jurisdiction following the accident which occurred at the Shoreham Airshow last summer. Their aircraft are all of British registry, the foundation said, and therefore fall under no flying prohibition. The foundation said that it hopes the aircraft will again be allowed to fly after the accident investigation is completed, and they're looking forward to the 2017 airshow season. After the break, a Chicago suburb claims low-flying aircraft caused damage.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. Residents of Bensenville, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, have filed another lawsuit against the city saying that the noise from the aircraft using the recently completed runway at Chicago O'Hare Airport constitutes an illegal taking of their property. The residents said that the city lied to them about the amount of noise from the airplanes using the runway, which opened in October 2013. The city repeatedly told them that the $1.3 billion runway would not significantly impact their lives or property. But the residents claim in the complaint that hundreds of commercial aircraft use the runway on a daily basis. The complaint says, quote, "Without exaggeration, it has wreaked havoc upon their daily lives and their prior enjoyment of their properties." The residents complain of a vortex effect from the aircraft, which they say has stripped the leaves from the treetops and caused cracked walls, ceilings, and driveways. They also say the noise has negatively impacted their health. Their complaint also includes counts of inverse condemnation against the city, which they say is a violation of both the Illinois and U.S. constitutions. It's Friday, and that means that it's time for ANN CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell to check in with his weekly Barnstorming commentary. This week, Jim reminds you and all of us on the ANN staff that the excitement of sun and fun in Lakeland, Florida is only a few days away. It's going to be a busy and exciting time. Here is this week's Barnstorming.
Thanks, Bree, and hi, folks. I want to let you know that we're less than 2 weeks away to Sun and Fun in Lakeland, and yeah, we're saying the SNF word out loud and officially. And to let you know that not only will we be there, but we're going to be there in partnership and in concert with the organization. Now, those of you who know our history know that in the past, long time ago, the prior management / leadership / God only knows what that controlled Sun and Fun was a kind of interesting little political fiefdom where you did as you were told or you were told to go away. And when we came up with a bunch of things that we thought were hazardous and a problem and so forth, we were told in no uncertain terms that we were unwelcome, and the Constitution went out the window, and yada, yada, yada. And for the years that circled around that, all it did was make us a hero because we stood up to them, and we did what we were supposed to do as journalists, tell the truth. But something happened a couple of years ago, and I just want to give it the kudos that it deserves. One of their people reached out, conversations were had. We went back a couple of years ago, covered it a bit. Went back the year after that, covered it a bit more. This past year, we had a discussion with their people and talked about the innovation preview that we did at Oshkosh. And wouldn't that be a great thing to help Sun and Fun proclaim its leadership at the beginning of the air show season and say, this is where innovation starts. Granted, there are other places where innovation is seen in a big way and nowhere greater than at Oshkosh. But Sun and Fun and Lakeland really do want to stake a claim to this is where it all starts for the year. Come on out. It's warm. It's fun. It's sunny beyond all get out. And it's a great place to celebrate the beginning of the aviation year. That's what they're doing. That's what we're doing. And no matter what has happened in the past, we have to remember that we have to be professional, that no matter what, there are things that need to be covered, that no matter what has transpired in the past, that we look at the leadership that is there now. We welcome this opportunity. I went back there a couple of months ago, sat down with Lights and his crew, Greg and Jennifer and the like. We told a couple of jokes about, hey, no cops here or nothing, and sat down and figured out a number of different ways in which we can work together to push aviation forward. And if that isn't the best darn thing, I don't know what it is. So kudos to Lights, kudos to Jennifer and Greg and all the great people there who are trying so hard. Yeah, they got left with a mess. They're working hard on it. I don't think that anybody envisions that the fly-in business is anything but a really torturous experience right now. But you never know. It's a great location, it's a great time, and there's a great history attached to it. So for Aero-News and Airborne and Aero-TV, come on down to Lakeland. We'll see you there. Our headquarters will be a little motorhome just behind the press headquarters. We'll be there 24/7. Let us know how we can help you. Let us know about your news. And more important than anything else, come on by and say hi. For your Aero-News Network, Airborne and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell. And less than 2 weeks from now, you're going to see me at Lakeland. Who'd have thought?
After these messages, the moon could be colonized by the year 2020.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. According to the journal New Space, NASA could establish a permanent colony on the moon by 2020 for a cost of about $10 billion. It's been proposed by some that colonizing the moon could provide a first step for colonizing Mars. A two-place Airborne XT-912 Trike went down with one person on board on Monday shortly after takeoff from the Hawthorne, California airport. It's reported the sole woman occupant in the aircraft did not survive and had been a 2008 participant on the TV show The Bachelor. Sun and Fun is all about the exciting aspects of aviation, including our aviation legacy. This year they plan to join the CAF to pay tribute to the Tuskegee Airmen. The CAF Rise Above exhibit will be on display. Top officials from the FAA are participating in the National Air Traffic Controllers Association annual conference. FAA Administrator Michael Huerta, Deputy Administrator Mike Whitaker, ATC Chief Operating Officer Terry Bristol, and UAS Senior Advisor Mark Gibson are among the agency's officials attending. The Mayor of London is continuing to lobby for a 4-runway hub airport, built on a man-made island in the Thames Estuary in East London despite its rejection by the Airports Commission last year. He prefers a new airport instead of expanding Heathrow. Well, that's the trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. The massive and unusual-looking Airlander 10 airship is almost complete and ready to leave its hangar in the UK after being inflated with helium, allowing the installation of external components. The first of the major attachments to the hull was the 36 by 28-foot lower left fin. That was followed by the installation of 4 350 horsepower V8 direct injection turbocharged diesel engines aft into the hull. The fact that the airship was floating above the hangar floor allowed for the installation of the payload module, which is the area behind the cockpit where the passengers or cargo will be carried. Following this, the upper right fin and lower fin were attached, as well as the forward pylons, which hold the vectored thrust engines. It's reported this unique hybrid air vehicle, referred to in the UK by the Daily Mail newspaper as the Flying Bum, can remain aloft for 3 weeks. And now here's a reminder of some upcoming events. We are only 1 week away from our infamous April 1st Airborne Unlimited broadcast. We'll be reporting on aviation news that will make you ask the question, how could this possibly be true? Remember, the day is April 1st. Our next reminder is about ANN's exciting Airborne Innovation Preview Series, which will debut shortly as the Sun and Fun Innovation Preview, just a few days ahead of this year's jam-packed fly-in. We are calling this the SFIP-16. ANN will assemble and webcast an expertly produced, fast-paced program containing a series of carefully screened, short 3 to 4 minute introductions to the major announcements and unveilings that can be found at the Sun and Fun this year. These presentations will be broadcast through several video media for a convenient look ahead at the new products or to review them at a later time. Slots for this year's SFIP-16 are gone. For those interested in participating in next year's program or our upcoming Oshkosh 2016 program, requests must be made to ANN Executive Producer Jim Campbell. Let us know. We're already getting requests for both. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday.